All right, y'all. Last night, Danny Jacobs fought in at the Barclays in New York. He beat Sulecki. I know I'm pronouncing that name wrong according to Jim Lampley. And the co-feature, Jarrell Big Baby Miller against Duhapis. Let's start there. Let's start with the first thing that jumped out at me. Jarrell Miller weighed in at 304.5 pounds, which is 21 pounds heavier than he did his last fight, which was actually only in November. So I was wondering how that was going to come across. I don't think there's been a heavyweight. There hasn't been many heavyweights that big in history. Nikolai Valuev comes to mind. I want to say, if I'm right, I want to say that he was somewhere around 319, somewhere around there. And I forgot about Buster Mathis, but the guys on the HBO telecast mentioned him, and I forgot that Buster Mathis fought a few fights around that 300-pound mark. So I was very curious to see how Miller was going to look when they showed him without his shirt on. He actually holds that weight pretty well. He doesn't look like a fat boy, fat and sloppy. I mean, his body is a little soft looking. Of course, it would be if you were weighing in at 304 pounds. But I think he holds it together pretty well. He's not out there looking like Butterbean, in my opinion. So let's get to the fight. He won a very, very easy unanimous decision over Duhapis. He threw just south of 500 punches, which is a lot for a heavyweight, but it's even more for a heavyweight that is 300 pounds. I didn't think he looked bad. Duhapis is tough. Duhapis is skilled. He's not a throwaway opponent. They kept comparing it to Wilder, saying that it took Wilder 11 rounds to knock him out. And it was clear that when it got to be about the 7th, 8th round, that Miller wasn't going to get him out of there. Now, the only issue I would have with Miller is that for a man that size, he doesn't seem to have closing power. He seems to have good power, but he doesn't seem to have that closing power, that power that when the fight gets late, he can put that shot on you and get you out of there. And I think that if he ends up fighting Joshua or Wilder, that could be an issue. Now, on the other hand, I don't necessarily see either of those guys, putting this big man down. Not saying it's impossible, but I think that you're looking at a fight that will possibly go the distance. So I don't know what happens next for Miller, because Wilder and Joshua are talking about trying to fight each other. So I don't think either of those guys are in the plans for him. Let's move on to the main event. Another long 12-round decision. This one was Danny Jacobs. Rightfully, I thought Jacobs won the fight, but Sulecki was definitely tough. And he took a lot of those shots that Jacob was throwing. I was really surprised that through 11 rounds, this guy was on his feet due to the fact that Danny Jacobs was hammering on him with left hooks, throwing hard right hands, doing a little body work, even though he should have did more, and got my man, start to wear him down in the end. And I was surprised that Sulecki didn't go down. And then we get to the 12th round. They began to exchange in that first 20 seconds. And right as Sulecki was about to throw a right hand, Jacobs was quicker, caught him with a brutal right hand and put him down. And Sulecki showed definitely how tough he was, because he got back up and he was able to finish the fight. But that was pretty much it. It wasn't a great fight, but it wasn't it wasn't a bad fight. I don't know if Danny Jacobs was just having a bad night, or if his opponent posed more problems in front of him than he was expecting. But that's about it. I don't know what's going to actually happen next for Jacobs. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a Golovkin rematch. I'm pretty sure he's not going to get Canelo. Definitely not within the next 2 or 3 fights. So I guess if you're looking at guys in the top 10, I guess, you still have Derevchenko out there. And even though I know it's a different network, you do have Jamal Charlo, which wouldn't be a bad fight. And let me see, is there somebody else I'm missing? Maybe Willie Monroe. I think he's fought on, yeah, he's fought on HBO before. Maybe that's a fight they can make to get Danny Jacobs in there a few months down the road and keep him busy. All right, fight fans, that's about it, man. I just wanted to get my thoughts on that fight. Catch y'all later.